Good morning, everyone. I'm Sagar Jalani. I'm ex-student of Alumni. I'm from Batch 2012. I'm in jewelry export business and I'm exporting jewelry to USA, Europe, Australia, Germany, and many other countries. So the topic of today is matching preparedness with corporate expectations. When we are in college, we all dream that as soon as we will be pass out the college, we will get an amazing luxury job which will have air conditioning office, and air conditioning office, a luxury car parked downstairs, a personal butler for your serving tea and coffee in frequent interval. Uh, if it's all by actually it's all a myth. Basically, if you are thinking like that, to achieve that level, you'll have to surpass many more hurdles, challenges, and many more things. Everything is completely uncertain in corporate world. That is, might be you have dream of having a job in finance stream and you end up having it in marketing stream where you will have to walk on the roads in the sunny day and will have to lift up a heavy stuff material and everything all just to meet up your seniors target given by you. So your college is there just to show you path. They will only make you learn how to walk on that path. They will make you learn how to fight the hurdles that you'll face on that path. So basically like we'll have to implement all the things, techniques that your college has made you learn how to like in your future corporate journey. Today we have Kriti, and she's working with Aditya Birla Group as a health insurance. She's from batch 2005 and 7, and she's also alumni. So welcome, Kriti.
Thank you, Sagar. Thank you so much. So, let me just introduce myself a bit. Like Sagar said, I am an alumni of IIIM and I'm from the batch 2005 and 7. I carry with myself an experience of about 13 years now in the human resource space. Uh, I've worked in several industries now, by far mostly in the financial services, but in those last 13 years, I have had the pleasure, I would say, of meeting and interacting, giving placements to a lot of fresh graduates from the MBA and graduates from colleges. Uh, Hence, I've also had the benefit of looking through their minds and see what things, what expectations they come with, or what are the dreams that they come with, and how they eventually pan out in their careers. So I think, as the topic is today, we how do we match our expectations with our careers, how do we prepare of achieving those dreams for ourselves. So that's I think I'll be able to throw some light on that today.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, Kriti, I'll be asking you a few questions which will like be relating to your corporate journey and everything, so that like everybody gets to know. So, like, was the environment, was the just a moment, yeah. So, like, yeah, when you started with your college, was the reality of the college same as you expected before joining it? Like everything, like what you thought of before joining it?
uh, so that's the thing with life also, it's never really what we expect and what reality will be. Talking in terms of college, I mean, obviously, when we are moving out of school to a college environment, we have a lot of expectations. Ki, हाँ, college होगा, मस्ती होगी, canteen, friends, and that's about it. And 2 साल बाद graduate होके बाहर निकलेंगे and we'll have a flourishing career and everything. It's not that easy. We all know. You when you enter into college, there are quizzes, assignments, hai, semesters, hai, projects, hai, events, hai, and there is a lot of Of course, we have all that fun and that party and that friends and all of that there. But वो भी इतना simple नहीं है. For example, a very simple thing like, and that happens with us, I think, throughout our education journey. Every year we feel that next year I'm going to be much better prepared for myself in terms of my studies. अगले साल exams में I'll be better prepared. But eventually the same thing. I mean, thank God for the photocopies machine out there. वो नहीं होगा, so none of us, I think, would have survived our journey of education without the notes. Group studies, for example, we all think that हम लोग एक room में बैठ के all of us will study together. Doesn't happen, right? Maggie, coffee, थोड़ा बहुत studies are there. So expectation is always different than reality, and I think the college journey was the first lesson to do that, to learn that fact. Expectations and reality are always very different.
Perfect. Very rightly said. That was completely like same. Yeah. So, and second, I would like to ask you, was the environment, people in journey as you expected? Like, what was the reality as compared to you thought of, like in the place you were recruited and everything?
Okay. Like I said, it's a fact of life. Expectations are always different than reality. So, for example, when I started my journey of my professional journey, my campus placement was with Future Group with Pantaloons, and we were into the retail sector. We went into retail, and I think along with me, I had 6 more friends of mine from my batch, and all of us had the same journey. Because all of us, and other than about that, I think there were about 100 odd other MTs, management trainees that were from different colleges. And we thought ki we are going for a retail, there will be a store, or there will be people who are placing corporates, there will be corporate structure, nice office, nice chairs, coffee machine, and your canteens and all of that. The first 1 month of our job, we were supposed to work on the retail store. And when I say on the retail store, I mean like on the floor. We were supposed to, take care of the shelves. So customers come, they look at the clothes and they would, just leave them as it is. So you have to then again fold them properly, keep them nicely, see the dusting and all is done properly. Some of my friends have also picked up, big cartons of like ghee ke peepe hote hain jo. They have literally picked them and kept them from one place to the other. We have also done the cashiering. So the cash counter, taking the, making the bills. We never thought that while we were doing our MBA, we never thought that we'll be doing this. But that was the first jhatka that we got when we entered there. And I think the lesson learned was that it was important for us to do, because then as we eventually moved to our respective roles, like I moved to my human resource job, my friends moved to the marketing or the finance job, it was important for us to know that ground level understanding, because then we were doing our jobs properly. Now, for example, as an HR manager, I knew what the people on the floor really go through in a day. What are their expectations? What do they really need from the organization? Similarly, for somebody who is doing a marketing job, it was important for them to learn as a lesson that what sells quickly. How do you do things so that it sells better? So, of course, there was no canteen in the stores. We had difference in terms of, very small things like cabin nahi tha. The chairs were not what I had probably imagined when I was doing my MBA. But the fact is that I never joined these organizations for a chair or for a canteen or the food that it served there. I started a professional journey to have a flourishing career for myself, and most importantly, to earn money. And that's why these are the two basic motivations that we have. And I was getting them both. So I think that fact check is very important for us to have that. Why are we really getting into what we're getting into? Even people, for example, in college, what happens is you connect immediately with each other. We are at that age, we're at that, at that stage in our lives. For example, I made my very first friend in my college at the parking lot on the first day of orientation when both of us were parking our vehicles. That's how I made my first friend. But when you enter a corporate space, it's different. People are very different there. Uh, you're not going to have friends on the day one. And some of them might not be your friends even on your last day in the organization, right? You might have enemies. And uh, that's the fact. We are all competitors to each other in a corporate setup. You are theirs, they are yours. But that doesn't mean that, we have that fear always for each other, or we have that animosity ka feeling at all times for each other. It's important that we understand what kind of feelings are getting exchanged. We will have people around us who will influence us. Some will be influencing us positively, some will be influencing us negatively. Now, this is up to us. कि हम उसमें से what feelings are we choosing for us to, kind of imbibe them in ourselves. The important thing to remember is that we need to be connected, whether you like the person or not, really. But this is corporate world seems very large, but the life and the world is very small. We all, come across each other very often. It's important to be connected with them, but be connected without expectations. Giving my own personal example, my manager about 10 years ago in my career, 10 years later, and I was connected with him, he was connected with me. 10 years later, when he had an opportunity for that something suited me, in my current city, the first call that he made was to me. And it wasn't that कि हम लोग दिवाली पे मिल रहे हैं, and it was like once or twice a year we were connected with each other with general wishes on birthdays or festivals and like that. But we were connected. He was aware about what I'm doing in my career. I knew where he's there. So that's how your connections help you. So important is to remember to be connected without expectations. There will be fierce competition on the corporate world, not at all like your college. And it's it's like, we when we are in college and we have this sense, like I said, we dream ki aisa cabin, aisa job, I will do my MBA, fat se I will earn all of this and I will become a big man. It doesn't happen. We need to learn patience. And it's a journey. It's a whole journey that we have. I have taken today like 13 years of journey. I have seniors who have like 20 years of career. Uh, it takes time for you to reach to a certain level. And it's important that we understand that this journey we have to make. The and we will have to figure out ki hamara goal kya hai. Whether it's a designation I'm looking at a certain hike in my salary, whether I'm looking at something to make big or make a space for myself in whatever sector I am today or whatever profession I am today. For example, the current CEO of my organization joined 25 years ago the same group as a management trainee. And today he is the CEO of one of the companies of Aditya Birla Capital. So he has taken that journey. And of course, he couldn't have done it if he was not having that patience. So important to understand that छट से नहीं होता in this world. Like कॉलेज में हमने एग्जाम दिया और थोड़ी देर में रिजल्ट आ जाएगा या प्रेजेंटेशन दिया और शाम को पता चल जाएगा कि आपका व्हाट वाज द रिजल्ट ऑफ द प्रेजेंटेशन. It doesn't work like that. It takes patience. It takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of hurdles to be crossed. So it's important that we go there with that set in our minds that yes, this is going to be a long journey which I have to take step by step.
Perfect example and very rightly said. Like when we are in college, we always dream, okay, we pass out and we'll have a luxury furniture in our office. Very much truly
Yeah.
said, like whenever you go to job, you get to know the reality, what it is now.
Correct.
And rightly said that you have to get connected with the people, like all the people surrounding. Maybe you know that some of the people are very positive towards you and some of them are very negative, but you have to make the connectivity with them because you
Correct.
never when they can be useful to you. So it's very truly said by you. Second question I'll ask you from that: what kind of like attitude you had to keep within yourself for your company, for your work, for your seniors, like everything against your company?
So couple of points here. I think the foremost and the most important one is to have positivity. And when I say positivity, I mean, we need to be flexible when we're entering an organization, especially at the starting stage of our careers. We have to be a little flexible. Uh, you know, Positively respond to the changes which are happening around you. Like there will be changes since we would be freshers. There would be changes happening in terms of, maybe the roles are developing. You would be asked to change a location. You would be probably, function will be changed from one department to another department. Let's be flexible about it. Let's not be very rigid about कि नहीं मुझे तो ये करना ही नहीं है या I can't do that. Let's not be at that place because the higher is the level of flexibility in our heads, the probability of success is high. And with these changes, it is again important that you believe in yourself. That don't be fearful कि ये मुझसे नहीं होगा या मैंने तो ये किया है. How will I do this? No, that's not right. We all learn, and we are at that stage in our career where we're supposed to learn. We're supposed to grow. So be flexible. Believe in the fact that you can learn and do new things. And I think one important part is that be presentable. When I say presentable, not that just be looking handsome or beautiful. It's basically about the fact that maintaining sometimes basic hygienes and maintaining the protocols of the organization that you're in. Every organization will have a protocol, right, of the code of conduct, of behaviors. Maintain that because that also displays a lot about how close you feel yourself to the organization. That's how organization gives you more and more chance to flourish in itself. uh, there will be a lot of failures, like the starting, right? So the learning. So there will be failures. Important point is to have that criticism with a positivity. कि वो मुझ में कमी निकाल रहे हैं. Instead of that, have a thought that okay, this is what I'm supposed to work on. Okay, this is where I'm lacking. Now I need to work on that and work on it. Not just think about it positively, but also work on it. And be punctual. This is something that I tell to a lot of trainees that I hire. Be punctual. Your boss or your leaders, your managers are not supposed to wait for you. It's supposed to be the other way around, right? Be punctual because, and there are always advantages of being an early bird. You get more time in your hand and all of that. So, positivity, believing in yourself, and And positivity, like being, having a smiley face and taking your criticism with positivity and a smile on your face. I think these are the three most important things that one should carry with themselves.
So according to you, positivity is a key. Basically, it's a key for the success of the corporate journey.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Next, I'll ask you, like, what are the important skills that you have to be prepared for your company?
Okay. So I think first and foremost is that when we are entering into an organization or a particular sector or an industry, we know where we're going, right? It's important that we go with little preparation. I see a lot of people, students who come in and, like for example, I'm currently taking care of the health insurance sector. I see a lot of people who have no idea of, let's say, basic insurance, what insurance is about. I'm not saying that you should know the nitty gritties and exact deep dive details of what you're entering into, but know about your company. What is this company about? How long it has journey been? What are the important people in the organization? What does this company, how is the spirit of the company? How many people are in the company? In terms of what kind of people are there? What are the kind of jobs available in this company? uh, the role that you are going, what are the policies of this company? Let's say if you're joining a brand, then what are the kind of social responsibility or social image that this company has? Just go with those sorts of preparations. And once you've joined somewhere, once you've entered that organization, be knowledgeable about what is happening around you. What happens is we get so involved in our day-to-day job that is assigned to us when we join, because हमको उसमें excel करना होता है. We sometimes ignore the environment around us. Be aware of what is happening in your organization ke, what is the kind of growth that this company is taking, numbers, what is happening in terms of the management front. Are the new policies coming in place? What is happening there? Keep talking to people around you. Interact with your peers. Interact with your seniors. Understand that it is equally important for you to keep learning. Today, I'm doing an X job where I need, let's say, 3 skill sets, but I want to grow from here, right? I don't want to be stagnant. So keep learning. Keep, and when I say learning, day to day jobs, where you don't find that time, 9 to 6, 9 to 8, ho jata hai. You don't find that time. But then 8 ke baad, find out those 2 hours for yourself. Because trust me, during the day, nobody will give you that extra time to, learn new skills or something. So you'll have to find out your own time, because it is important for you, your organization and your managers to know that your skill sets are far more than what you're doing today. Only then you will get higher responsibilities. And one more important thing is to ask questions. A task is given to you and you're not clear about it. You don't have a very clear idea of what is to be done and how it is to be done. Go and ask the questions, clear your understandings and your doubts before you proceed for some task. It's always better to have a clarity taken before you go ahead and make a blunder out of a task, because that blunder will be bigger than if you make a mistake by knowing something. By asking a question is never wrong. So I see a lot of freshers who come in and they're fearful of ki पूछेंगे तो we will be considered as इसको आता नहीं है. That's not the fact. We as organization, as leaders, we know that you're fresh and you're learning. So it's important for you to ask questions, because sometimes we will assume that ये तो हमने, we had told you this, you must be knowing this, you would be remembering this, but that's probably not the fact. You might need a revision and we are okay with that. So feel free and go ask a question. So I think keep learning. I mean, skill sets is what we have learned in the college. Keep brushing them. Excels, PPTs, we all do that a lot in our college days. But keep brushing them. Keep doing them. Don't, if whether you're getting it used in your day-to-day job or not, but just keep upskilling yourselves on that.
Very truly said. Like you have to have the basic knowledge for a company for the any of the tasks that you received. Very nicely said. Okay, now I would like to ask, like, does time management plays an important role in your corporate journey?
Uh, this is actually a little tough one. So it is very important, not only in our corporate journey, but in our life also. But uh, we always feel time, I believe, is the most underrated element in our lives. हम लोग हमेशा सोचते हैं कि 24 hours time is not given that importance. We need to understand that just how much time is equal to money in a corporate setup. So you want your managers or your organization to have that feeling that you are a huge bang for the buck kind of for the salary that you're being paid off. So you are giving much more deliverance in terms of the amount, in terms of salary that you're being paid off. And that only you can do when you manage your time well. So see, the thing is that if I'm a part of a team, I am being assigned, let's say, 3 tasks. If I'm doing those 3 tasks within a timeline, I will take more time. I will have more time available with me. I can take 2 things off the plate of my manager, which means my manager is little more free and he will feel happy about that. This person has taken some things off my table and is doing it well. So now what happens is my importance increases there. I get, as a result, the downside is that mere paas kaam zyada ho jayega probably. I will have more responsibilities. But that's fine. No, that's what we have gone there. We have gone there to learn. And the more we do, the more we learn. And the better thing is that you get more place on the table when you manage your time well. And the simplest trick that you can do is when you start your day, just have, and I am a little traditional that way. I don't maintain a note on a laptop or a mobile. I always maintain a diary where I have my to-do tasks written. And honestly, it gives me a satisfaction when जब one task is done and वो pencil या pen का kach का वो आवाज आता है with a tick, keep it done. So that's the simplest trick, that you just plan your day in the morning before you start your day. You will definitely end up with more time. So time management, I think, is very important in the corporate structure, because the more well you manage, the more tasks you're able to do and the more place you get on a table in the organization. And deadlines will be a part of a corporates, just how it was in college ki is date tak aapko project submit karna. It will be similar in your corporates, but deadlines are given because you're supposed to meet those deadlines, right? Something is required by that deadline. So try not to extend those deadlines, try and meet those deadlines. And more you do, that tells a lot about your attitude in your environment, I mean, in your corporate space. And work smart, not hard, but work smart. Be a smart worker, not a hard worker, because in the corporate world, hard workers ka utna importance nahi hai. You will not be, considered as, you will not be given that place if you're, hard worker. But you will definitely be having a visibility in our organization if you're a smart worker. Try and find, I'm not saying just take shortcut for everything, but try and find a smarter way of completing your tasks. And there are always there. For example, if you have to do a task. For example, if I have to generate, like I normally do, I have to generate offer letters. Sometimes I have to do it in a quantum. Like in a day, I have to make 10 to 12 offers. Now I can't go and do one offer. So, have your macros. And for that, you need a skill, which is Excel or macros. So keep skilling yourself, like brings me to my previous point, because you will find smarter ways of completing your tasks within the deadlines, within the timelines. So time management, I think, is one thing that we learn in our college. It's important that we don't forget it as we enter the corporates.
So deadlines are very important that we got to learn in the college. And that time we criticize, okay, no, this is the deadline. We have to everything. And now we got to realize how important those are.
Exactly.
Actually, very much connected to the corporate journey.
Yes.
Now I would like to ask, Kriti, like what kind of vision you were having before joining and in fact throughout your corporate career. Like what was the vision?
So honestly, when I started, I did not really have a vision, because for me, it was a little accidental journey that I started in my profession, human resource also by itself. But once I started it, and once I started to really enjoy the domain that I was in, the industry, or the kind of work that I was doing, it's very clear that, in your day to day, it's really boring. Day to day jobs hota hai, and that's in every role, any industry, any type of function. You have a set of tasks which are day to day tasks, and it becomes really boring, and it comes with a standard corporate environment. You get to become bored of it. The important part is that, above all of this, you have to stay focused on what your goal is. So for example, if I had a vision that, in, let's say, in the next 10 years, I want to be at this certain level in my career. And for that, it was important for me to understand, how do I reach there? So be very clear, what do you want to do? Set a timeline for yourself, a goal, a vision timeline for yourself. And vision not necessarily means 15 saal baad, 20 saal baad. You can have a 5 years vision. It's totally, individualistic approach how you want to keep it. But be very clear what that vision is, and be very clear about how do you reach there. Ek sapna dekha hai, and how do you achieve that dream? There are two different things. So understand that to reach to that place, you will have to do multiple things: time management, keep learning, every day you will have to pick up something that will help you reach that goal of yours. Be it learning, be it doing extra things, be it, connecting with people, like all of those things that we have talked in the past 20-25 minutes, all of that together will help you achieve that vision of yours. And keep checking where you are today, because there are deviations which are possible. So keep checking where you. For example, I personally had a 2 year break because of family reasons and everything. So I had a 2 year break, and my 10 year vision got extended by another 2 to 3 years. But it was important for me to accept that change. That okay, ye break aaya hai, and now where do I start from to reach where I actually initially planned for? Take risks. I took a risk of changing my industry. I started with retail, and after about a year or so, I moved to financial services. It was completely different from your retail setup and financial services, insurance space, commercial vehicle. Then I moved from there to commercial vehicle loaning space. Then I moved to wealth management space, and then I'm back to insurance space. So it's from life insurance to health insurance. So there are all different spaces, and you don't know anything on your day one, but you have to take that risk, because today I know so much about all of these industries put together that cumulative knowledge is so much useful to me today. So be ready to take those risks in your career. Be ready to take that journey completely with all those risks handy, and be aware of what challenges that risk will bring you, and definitely you will reach those visions whatever you have had for yourselves.
So lastly, I would like to ask Kriti, like how to balance your work life and like how to balance everything.
Okay, my personal opinion, work-life balance is a myth, because see what happens is, and I always tell this to a lot of freshers that join us, is that the balance aisa hota hai, right? There are two hands which are at the same level. That's not possible in life, and not only in your professional life, even in your college. Look at. People when we were in college, did we really had time? 8 o'clock our classes would start and we would finish like 4 o'clock, and fine, we would bunk some of them, but whatever. You have your friends to catch up with, you have assignments to do, you have notes to make, and a lot of things, and then you have your family. So tabhi work life balance was not there. Professional time mein, it increases more as you enter your career and as you move your life stages. Like today I have a family, I have a child, so work life balance is it becomes difficult as you move in a life stage. But what you can do is have some slots reserved in your life. For example, for me, how I do it, my day starts. My professional day, and right now it's even difficult since the lockdown and everything. Since you're working from home, there are no boundaries between work and life right now. Right, you are available 24/7 to your employers. So my day starts at around like 10:30 until like 7. I take like some breaks in the middle for my lunch and stuff like that. But till 7, then I'm there for my work. Before 10:30 and after like 7:30 usually, I am then not available usually. But I have been able to do it because I have managed my time between the 10 to 7 that way. So to have that balance, it is important that we manage our time properly and keep those slots reserved. Have it in your head very clear कि हाँ ये slot यही है, इसमें मुझे I don't have to spill over, but you will be able to do it when you're managing your time well. So you will have to be very rigid with yourself that yeah, this is the slot. Weekends, you know yes, I agree, there are certain situations where you have to work on weekends. I do that, I have to sometimes, but then let it not be a practice. It's like once in a while it's okay, because too much of work or too much of like we have this, no, too much of play makes jack, too much of study and no play makes jack a dull boy, and something like that it was. So too much of work will definitely make your lives dull. And corporate lives, trust me, as interesting as we seen from outside, it is not that interesting inside. It's a very day to day kind of monotonous job. But you will have to find that time for your life in your work, because otherwise, yeah, balance is not. It's always like this. It's never like this. So there is no specific formula or a formula for that. I wish there was, but there are no researches done on that, because it's not possible according to me. But you have to struggle and find that slot for yourselves. I
So
hope I answered that question well.
yeah, it was very nice. And so like from that also we can take it as like time management is again a very key
Right.
important, like for the balancing of the work life also time plays a very important role in that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was very nice learning from you, and I hope everybody has like had a very good session from you.
Thank
And
you.
Lastly, I would like to say to everyone, like your college, like so, I will ask to everyone, like never ever make any kind of expectation from your present for your future. Just learn whatever is taught to you from your college, as everything is very very much useful for your future. As you see, like timeline was very much important. Your deadlines, the college that show you that your project has to be submitted within this deadline, it's very very much important for your future, for your corporate life. As you just got to listen the example. So basically, this is all. And wish everybody lots of luck in your life. And thank you so much, Kriti,